I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
Golden Ricketts, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I am well. You've made my night. Before we get started, please go ahead and big up the greatest parish in Jamaica.
You're putting me on the spot. So I'm gonna big up St. Thomas because I was born there, and I'm also gonna big up St. Andrew because I grew up there.
I love that. I'll take that. 14.94 games record. You weren't playing about tonight, were you?
No, I definitely knew that the girls were coming out here to fight, so I had to bring my A game and war them.
What got you going? Was it the cold or was it something else?
It's the cold. I like competing in the cold for some strange reason, but then after the first jump, I feel like it got even colder, and then the breeze started changing. So, yeah, I don't know.
What next? What's next for you in terms of achievement? Because this is your greatest career medal, isn't it?
Yes. Apart from the World Championships, yes, this is my first gold. So what's next? I have the Monaco Diamond League next week, and I'm also going to be participating at the Knockout Championships in Bahamas.
Amazing stuff. And how does it feel to inspire the little kids in St. Thomas? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them with their eyes gripped to the screen saying, I want to be like Golden Ricketts.
Yes, definitely. I hope to be an inspiration to them. I hope they see themselves in me. If them foot long, them can try the triple jump. You know, if them slim, them can try the triple jump or even high jump.
What if them have short foot?
If them have short foot, then can try to cause some foot short too.
Amazing. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Still my favorite interview so far. One of my favorite interview, I should say. Let me just add some clarity to that before I forget my manners. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. All depends on where you're based in the world. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. If you can't, then give me a little reminder. Let me know in the comment section and I will readjust my sound and give it another spin for you. So, guys, we're firmly into the weekend. How's everyone doing? I haven't done a live stream in some days now, so please don't hold it against me. A little bit snowed under, occupied with a few things here and there. And also, you should know me by now that I try to stay clear of the negativity. Coincidentally, oddly enough, tonight we're firmly in it all. We're firmly in the mix of some negativity, guys. And it's one thing that I can't ignore. I've been taking note of a certain some situation as it relates to content creators, YouTubers, and press conferences relating to both the women's team and the men's team. And when I'm saying the women's and the men's team, I'm obviously referring to football, so the Reggae Girls and the Reggae Boys. And the headline reads for itself. If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says Jamaican YouTubers frozen out of press conferences. So that is the topic of tonight's live stream. And I want to hear from you guys. This is an assumption. So this is why I think I'm going to share my reasons with you guys as to why I think Jamaican YouTubers have been frozen out of press conferences for both the women's and men's football team of Jamaica, right? So I want to hear you guys' opinion as well. So throughout the show, at any point, drop those comments in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Also, the number for tonight's show is at the bottom of the screen. And you know how it goes. If you're new to the channel, let me go ahead and explain it to you all. All you have to do is get dial-in. So, get dial in via WhatsApp, by the way, guys. So go ahead and type in the number, the +44, followed by the remaining digits. Only call me by WhatsApp. If you do a straight call, I'm not going to pick up because it simply means you're going to be charged extra outside of your normal rate for your bill. That is. So please go ahead and get dial in via WhatsApp and we can try and have a healthy conversation, although the topic in itself is quite a negative one. Go through the comment section quickly. Good night, Mr. Rockford. How are you? First one through the doors. Nice to see you, Mr. Special Edition. Good night to yourself. How are you, Travi? Big up yourself, Travis. How are you? Mr. Special Edition says, press the like button as you come in. Absolutely. Have some manners, people. Go ahead and smash that like button for me, please. And thank you. Rohan Noble. Good evening, sir. How are you? Mr. Price. How are you? It's been a while, guys. That's down to my fault, though. That's nothing to do with you guys. JFF knows that the vloggers talk about facts and they don't like that. We're gonna get into all of that. Interesting observation there. I don't really think anyone can disagree with you. You've beaten me to it with one of my first bullet point, pretty much just summarize it quite beautifully there. With regards to the vloggers and perhaps not necessarily what they say in the press conference, but maybe how they conduct themselves within their own platform and so on. Which isn't uncommon because when you think of mainstream media, maybe not particularly in Jamaica, but mainstream media in the UK, for example, how many times have you seen a newspaper speak out against a club or speak out against a particular player playing for a club? They don't get the doors slammed in their faces and told that they're not able to attend a press conference or they're not uninvited to future press conferences. It's all part of the game at the end of the day. Football is a game of opinions. Sometimes we hit the nail on the head. Sometimes we're far off from the truth. Sometimes we don't tell the truth, maybe because we don't know how to tell the truth, or maybe we don't know how to go about unveiling certain topic of conversation. I like to think that people are not being sinister when they're trying to deliver their stories, but that all comes down to the individual. But sometimes people are far from the truth and sometimes they hit the nail on the head. Again, all comes down to the individual. Sometimes come down to doing your homework. Sometimes it's a bit of a sinister approach, but again, it all comes back to the individual and the storyteller and their platform. It's traditional PPL. It's people. I don't know why I thought I said JPL for a second and read it as PPL. It's traditional people in Jamaica Football Federation. That's why them deal with with traditional media. No wonder social media is poor. But we live in a social media day and age. So again, even in this country, people have had to get with the times. They've had to readjust. It's not just about traditional media. Could argue, one could sit and argue and say that traditional media is like it's on a time clock at the moment in terms of how long can you remain, how long can you last, because everything is all digital anyway. So I think coming out of that traditional media era. I think we're now firmly um, working within the digital media. And I think that's the way it's going to be next 20 plus years. That's how it's going to be. I don't think we're going to divert back to traditional media, but that all, again, that's another opinion and that remains to be seen. It's not just Jamaican vlog YouTubers. YouTubers in general aren't allowed in press conference, not even at the club level. Depends on the event. Depends on the event, and it depends on the individual. Widely speaking, yes, you are correct, but sometimes it comes down to the individual because what you find with not just Jamaica, so in any country, so take England for example, sometimes this comes down to who you know. So who's going to unlock that door for you and bring you through the back door, bring you through the front door and place you in that press conference? Sometimes it just comes down to who is your contact, who's willing to give you a chance, who's willing to take a hit, who's willing to put their head on the line to have you in those all important press conferences. So yes, you're definitely right. It's not just a Jamaican YouTubers thing. It's a worldwide thing, but you still do have YouTubers who are given the permission or given the license to go ahead and take part in press conferences with traditional media. Definitely here in the UK as well. And again, it depends on the game or depends on the event. Everyone's going to the new, yeah, it is the new era. Social media, the digital age. We are in the digital age. It's all about social media. Yes, traditional journalism or traditional media, they still have a leg to stand on because they are the foundation of it all. So they're still going to be standing for some time. It's just like I said, I think it's a ticking clock. And they know that as well worldwide. Everybody knows that. United stands sometimes of people in the exactly. That's what I'm saying. It comes down to the individual, it comes down to the event, it comes down to the sport, it comes down to the club. It's all about who you know sometimes, not necessarily what you know, who's willing to say, you know what, this person is a good character, allow them to sit in the press conference because they're going to read the room and act accordingly. It's normally one person in Adam. All right, so if you guys are tuning in, the headline reads for itself. It says Jamaican YouTubers frozen out of press conferences. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a little background into why I decided to do this live stream for you guys some weeks ago, or maybe 2 months ago, if that. I was on the phone with another YouTuber, and they said to me, they were like, have you noticed that Jamaican YouTubers are, because it was about I think it was about the reggae boys at the time. So have you noticed that YouTubers aren't in the press conferences? And I was like, well, no, I didn't. So again, about 2 months ago, I started to realize that there's a little bit of a change here. I was just like, okay, looking at things in hindsight, I was like, no. And then that person went on a little bit further and said that, yeah, we're not being invited to press conferences. I thought, well, that's a little bit odd, because more often than anything, and I think if anyone wants to tell the truth, usually you would have more YouTubers, most certainly with press conference that I've been in, you would have more YouTubers or more vloggers in the press conferences as opposed to traditional media. That's not to say that traditional media aren't showing an interest. Maybe they have personal or work commitments that they need to tend to as a matter of priority. Because one thing about our press conferences is that we're usually notified maybe 24 hours, sometimes 24 hours or less prior to the press conference taking place. And I'm always a little bit annoyed by that because I'm like, I've got a normal 9 to 5. And I'm thinking, there's no way that I can stop my job and then go and do a press conference because my manager won't be happy with that, and so on and so on. So I always thought that the way they structure the press conferences should be better because we all have our 9 to 5 and we all have commitments that we need to complete so that we don't upset our employers. So yeah, going back to what I've said, I've always seen more vloggers and YouTubers in press conferences anyways compared to mainstream media. Again, let me reiterate, that's not to say that mainstream media don't have an interest in the men's team or the women's team. I can't speak for them. They must clearly have their own priorities to tend to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a little pin in it before we continue the conversation, because I've been talking at you guys for about almost 13 minutes. I'm going to go and bring on one of my favorite people to talk to, not just about football, sports, but sometimes just life in general. Sometimes we're on the phone hours on end talking about literally anything and everything. And sometimes it's nothing to do with football, thankfully. Sometimes it's just about life. So let me go ahead and bring on Mr. Ryan LFC. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Good evening. Thanks for having me, Crystal. I really appreciate it, man.
You look fresh.
Sorry.
Life is treating you well. What's the secret?
It's just exercise, drink a lot of water, rest, and make sure that you always keep positive and always have a positive and keep talking facts all the time. So that's the main goal. And sorry to not be in the studio. I am on the road, but I try to find somewhere where it look like it can look official because I
No,
like
it
I
looks
like
fine.
things
I
to
appreciate it. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
yes, yes.
How's
Halftime,
your day
listen.
been?
Halftime TV. Stop it, Virgin. Jump on the stream, brother.
Big up yourself, halftime.
Halftime, my brother. Me need up on the show, Virgin. Stop what you're doing right now. Put on the child in the room, brother, with the baby mama and jump on the stream. Me I beg you 30 minutes out of your time, Virgin. Don't bother play games, brother. We need you. Need you. Jump on, brother. No excuse. Anyway,
Or if he's more
start.
comfortable, he can
Send
call
the
in.
link to this phone to my next number. I can send it to Halftime TV. Send the link. Send the link. Halftime. Stop play game, brother. Friday night. But yeah, Crystal, thanks for having me. As I say,
No
really
problem.
appreciate it, Bridget. Really, really appreciate it, Crystal. But listen, serious thing, Crystal. The JFF only need to do better when it come on to the press conference. You cannot ask the people in the diaspora to buy a jersey. You cannot ask the people in the diaspora to support the team. But yet still, you treat them bad. you want a clean state going forward, these are the things you need to do. Get the diaspora a part of this thing, Bridget, because when it come on to spend and buying jersey, not saying people in Jersey, in Jamaica don't buy jersey, but a lot of people complain that it's too expensive and people in the diaspora can't afford it. So we need to get the diaspora more involved and hands-on in the thing. Why not this press conference where broadcast across the world to involve the people them? We're not in Jamaica. As you said, Crystal, you're right. We're not shoving out mainstream media. Everybody have a part to play.
100%.
Everybody need to be treated 100% the right way, but you cannot have a coach coming in Jamaica and the people on YouTube not involved in it. Whether you like Ryan style, you have Talawa do things different, you have Simon who do things different, you have coaches next, you have, I am sure, you have all of these people do things different. Formula Sports do things different from Ryan LFC. Yes, you can blackmail me.
No, but you're absolutely right, Ryan, because this is a thing where basically, if you guys haven't caught on to what Ryan is saying, is that we've all been penalized there, guys. And I did sense it, I did feel that some sort of penalty would come our way where every single YouTuber, regardless of your tone, regardless of your narrative, regardless of your delivery, we're all going to be penalized because clearly they just see us as a pack of bad wolves. Even though Ryan has quite rightly summarized it and said that we've all got our own USP. We all have our own unique voice. No one in this Jamaican football community sounds the same. And that's a testimony to everyone. We all have probably arguably similar opinions, but our delivery is not the same. It's not identical to anyone within the YouTube community. But it's interesting to see that we've all been penalized. And it's something that, like I said, Ryan, I know today was the first time that me and you spoke about it, but I've been thinking about it and I've been watching. I've been in press conferences and I've been watching and paying attention, being analytical. And I knew that, okay, you know what, eventually this is what it's going to come down to. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't think that there's been, if I can look at things in hindsight, I don't think there's been a moment where a YouTuber or a vlogger has stepped into a press conference and asked a question that was just, you're out of line. I can't recall that happening. And even if that did happen, it's down to the Jamaica Football Federation to reach out to that person. Either you do it in front of everyone, which I wouldn't recommend, or you do it behind the scenes and you speak to them off the record and say, whatever you said inside the press conference, that can't happen again. Otherwise, you won't be invited. That's how you do things from a professional standpoint. But before I continue, someone's about to make their debut on my program. Thankfully, after about 40 days and 40 nights, it has finally happened. And I'm delighted that it's finally about to happen. Mr. Halftime TV, how are you, sir?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Next time I'm not going to hold my breath with you because I almost pass out.
No, yeah, I could have sworn I've been on the channel before, but I've been extremely busy.
No, man, I bring him already, Crystal. Man.
Yeah.
Second time on the show, I bring him
here
already
before. Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. You see, my memory's not that great.
I was just now thinking, I haven't been on her channel. I think I've been on everyone's channel before.
The debut, then. My apologies.
I've been on everyone's channel. Don't worry, I'm the guy who shows up everywhere. But I've been super busy lately, so forgive me if there was an invite that I missed. All right, but big up the entire Talawa family.
I need to make my debut on your channel because I've not made my debut on your channel yet.
Don't worry about it. I'll shoot you a message when I'm planning one 2 days in advance because usually it's spontaneous.
He always want to do him thing by himself. Him even send me a link anymore.
I like it though. It's good. When you can work by yourself, it's impressive.
It's spontaneous because sometimes I'm at home and something comes up and like it's kind of difficult for me to send someone a message a couple of minutes in advance to ask them to do it. You get what I'm saying? So sorry about that, but don't worry. I'll start planning my lives 3 and 4 days in advance. So yeah. But
what do you make of the subject, the talking point for
today? I think YouTubers, as things stand now, we still aren't considered a part of the media, right? And I think someone mentioned it in the comment section, speaking about the Press Association of Jamaica, and those are the individuals who are invited because those are the individuals who are officially considered the media, right? Now, my qualm with it though is the fact that we don't have access to it, right? Because fine. If we can't attend it, fine. You're probably in the United Kingdom. Ryan is in Canada. Ryan's actually my neighbor. He lives a stone's throw away from me. But probably we won't be able to attend it in person, but we still need access to it, right? And again, it comes back to that level of transparency, because if we're starting off a new slate, we shouldn't be taking it afterward. We shouldn't be getting this sort of information a couple of hours after, because I was following the press conference, and the reason I had content during the press conference was because a number of the persons in the media sphere, I am close with them. I either went to school with them or I follow them on different social media platforms. So whenever they post something or they say something on social media or wherever, I can say, okay, this is a reputable source. This is what's happening now. So I can rely on it, because they not only post for themselves, but they post for other newspaper entities or media entities down there in Jamaica. But, and Ryan alluded to it, folks in the diaspora, we need to have access to stuff like these. And even if we're not formally invited because we're not the media, because again, we just went through that, we need to be able to say, okay, this is what was said while it's being said, right? We shouldn't have to wait until it is brought by the Jamaica Observer afterward, because a lot of these newspaper entities and Jamaica Observer, no, this is not me pointing fingers to Jamaica Gleaner, not me calling you guys out or anything, but these entities, they usually publish stuff that have headlines, that grab headlines, and probably something that is not as significant in their eyes, we will see, and we're like, okay, that's an interesting take, and that's where we get our approach from, or content from, something that's ignored by all the other media entities. So again, allow us the opportunity to have access to these press conferences, and I think I've never seen it before where a new manager has been presented and the public doesn't have access to it. Like, it's unheard of. But again, that's my 2 cents on the situation. I think it will be difficult, because we know how Jamaica is. They want you in person 9 out of 10 times to sign a document or to do this or to do that. So even if you want to be a part of the Press Association of Jamaica, chances are you probably have to take a flight down. But we want access to it. So even if we can't be a part of the Press Association, we want access to it so we can form our opinions from the information that's presented.
So, Ryan, you was going to say something?
Well, boy, half time, you know, when me up on show with half time and Crystal, I have to behave myself, but gotta respect, you know. But listen, half time, I agree with a lot of things you said, but listen, we really keep the reggae boys and the reggae girls going.
I didn't say no, Ryan. I didn't say no, you know.
No.
I agree.
I agree with everything you said, but I'm just giving you my opinion still. I'm not disagree. I don't disagree with anything what you said. But you see, if we're not going to get the respect, we're going to do it by force. Me, I'm going to do it by force, because I believe that they should accept us. They should accept us, because we is bringing the brand. We're doing something different. Sportsmax cannot sit down 5 hours and speak about the reggae boys. Go in depth. They can't, because they have a lot of things to do. While we can do that, 5 hours, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, speak about the reggae girls, speak about the JFF. And a lot of people, since the new media come in, has buying to Jamaican football back. And if JFF want to make a clean state, this is the market where they need to dabble in. This is where they need to come, sit down with an interview, and I will call out a lot of people. My brethren Speed, I love you, and you do so much thing for me. But don't want you take you for fool, brethren. Don't come on a platform and give a certain thing, but when you go up on the mainstream media, you give them everything. Tell us the honest truth. Show us the respect what we really truly deserve. And you know, me and Speed good, so I can call him out, and without me and him, nobody say how them are going in there.
It's
You understand? Because
accessibility,
when
Ryan.
Speed go on
It's
something
accessibility.
different, yeah, go ahead after.
I was saying it is accessibility. Folks, they're interested in YouTube, whether it's Talawad TV, whether it's Ryan LFC, whether it's Halftime TV, Coaches S, you name it, because they have access to it on the go, right? Sportsmax and all these other entities, you have to subscribe to something, probably download an app to do whatnot to have access to it. Now, especially in today's age, if it requires more than 2 or 3 clicks, folks lose interest, right? They can't be bothered. Oh, I have to download, I have to create a profile. They're not interested. Whereas they can just click onto YouTube, type in Ryan LFC, and oh, Ryan's there talking about reggae boys. And this is the sort of access I'm talking about. We want to have access to what's being presented the same way the fans of reggae boys football, the Jamaicans across the diaspora, the same way they have access to content that's being produced on the reggae boys or the reggae girls on YouTube. They can just jump on, and straight off the bat, Talawa is talking about the reggae girls and the magnificent performance they have, or Ryan LFC is bashing the Jamaica Football Federation, or whoever it is making a presentation. Folks have access to it, and there aren't any barriers. And that's why I think a lot of folks call it the free press, because it's easy to access. You can just jump on and you have full access to it. All right. And again, we don't have editors, we don't have filters, we don't have any of those. And we want it to be a case where information that's coming out of the Jamaica Football Federation through press conferences, whether it's before games, whether it is presentations, whether it's, if you're inviting a new player, if a new player is making his debut, we should be having press conferences for these individuals as well. Hey, how are you feeling representing Jamaica? The decision that you made. We shouldn't be getting 30-minute snippets from CVM or TVJ when they bump into them in the tunnel heading out onto the field. You get what I'm saying? We should be having full press conferences with these individuals, and probably we won't be able to have all of them on individual basis. We can sit them down, 3 or 4, pass the mic across. Let's hear what their takes are. Let's get the fans and the YouTubers and the media and whoever it is a little bit closer to the players. Because if we intend on moving forward, if we intend on starting a fresh slate, then we need to be moving in the same direction as Coach Hallgrimson said. And I think this is the way we do it.
But lads, are we not going against our, when I say we, obviously I'm referring to the decision makers, are they not going against our national motto, which is out of many one people? And I'm just comparing the way Jamaica does things and the way people do things in England, for example. And at first I was giving Jamaica, the Football Federation, that is, full credit for the way they include vloggers and YouTubers, because I was like, that is an absolute privilege, because they don't really do that in other parts of the world. So I was giving them credit for doing so. But in the same breath, with the way that they're now operating and the way that they're moving forward, I kind of feel it as you're more concerned, or you're giving favor to those that you believe is from a higher class. Because I kind of feel like you look at mainstream media and you think elitism, you think higher class, but when you look at vloggers and you look at YouTubers, you're kind of belittling us, you're looking down on us, and you're treating us as if we're bottom of the barrel, when that isn't the case, because it's all about, football is a game of opinions at the end of the day. And I know for a fact that there's been times where I've said time and time again, I've entered press conferences and I've seen more vloggers and YouTubers than those from traditional media. Again, I'm not trying to bash traditional media, but at least no matter what time of day it is, you have vloggers and YouTubers showing interest in both the men's team and the women's team. There's been times where I've been in press conferences, there's like 5 reporters in a press conference. How can that be when we're talking about the national team? How embarrassing is that? Press conference.
The love is not there, sis. The love is not there. And I'm going to tell you something that, you see, if Crystal now get these people from the JFF on our show or halftime, I think in the future it will come. You know, when something new happen, or somebody in high places making a lot of changes, a lot of people would feel stubborn and don't want to move with the change. I remember when Gary Neville were going at AFTV, going at all of these YouTubers, Sky Sports were going all back and forth 5-6 years ago, until they realized, listen, people not watching them anymore. People watching the YouTuber. They start to iron YouTuber. I believe in Jamaica, it's just a take a look a while for JFF to behave like this, but they will accept. They will accept. I can guarantee you, if me inherit, probably a younger youth to come do flagging and inherit what we are fight for. You understand? Because I believe that it will change. It's just a matter of time. Changes not just come 1 year, 2 year. If Marcus Garvey and Nani of Maroon and all of them would have fight for it right through, it never come 1 year and 2 year. It take a little while. So I'm telling you that me must get my crickets to sit down and talk to Ryan LFC. I am not asking you. I must get the vice president come, because guess what? They have to start accept us.
Yeah.
They're just being stubborn right now. But after a time, they will come to us. Don't worry. It will come. But don't come on a platform and tell us something different. And when you go on mainstream media, you give the whole truth and thing. Don't go around us. Don't ramp with the thing.
Mr. Phillips, sometimes, okay, you might be new to my channel, you might not know about me, but sometimes you gotta just sit back and listen to a conversation and then comment. Don't just jump to conclusion, because you've dropped a comment and I'm thinking you're laughing at us, but the joke is on you. Because if you know me, you would know that I write for the Voice newspaper, and that's the only Black newspaper in Britain. And if you don't believe me, you go ahead on YouTube and Google and you type in my name, you type in the Voice newspaper, and my article is there. I'm accredited to cover Premier League and English Football League and competitions in Europe for both the men's team and the women's team, where football is concerned at all levels. So I don't really know who you're laughing at, and you can't be laughing at my colleagues, because I'm not going to tolerate that, because I represent both traditional media and vloggers and YouTubers. So I'm firmly split down the middle. So if I didn't care about the likes of Halftime TV or Ryan or Coaches or Coach's Desk or Formula, I wouldn't be here with this live stream, because what you're basically saying is it doesn't affect me. And this is the problem with Jamaicans. You don't want to speak about things that don't affect you. You only want to talk about it when it affects you. That can't work. We're not gonna generate change if we're only ever going to speak about things when it affects us. I could easily have ignored this situation here and say, well, I belong to the Voice newspaper, so I can just use my accreditation. But it's not right, because fair is fair. Because like I said, time and time again, when I sit in press conferences, I've seen more vloggers and YouTubers present than mainstream media. So what does that tell you? So sometimes, rather than laughing at people, try to understand where people are coming from, because these YouTubers, they get a lot of disrespect, but they give up time, invaluable time that they will never get back. Time that they should be spending with their family. They're talking to you guys, trying to give you guys information. Stuff that Halftime tells you and stuff that Ryan LFC tells you. More time, if they don't come from them, who's going to be feeding you the information? So don't be so quick to just laugh at people. Stop. This is what I mean about our culture. Stop belittling people. Stop thinking that you're more than people, because you are not. You are not. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Big up yourself, Sir Donovan Phillips. Big up yourself. All right, but yeah, and just to add to that as well, I've written for numerous newspapers in Jamaica as well. I've also done a stint. I've also done a stint with one of the television stations. So
there you go. The jokes. I'm not really. Maybe Ryan. Maybe I use my laugh.
Big up yourself. So big up yourself,
No,
Donovan.
I wrote for Ryan LFC and Ryan LFC Extra.
But yeah, man, big up yourself. Big up yourself. But I agree, and I spoke about it, and I'll speak about it again. The accessibility, they need to change that bit, because then the transparency will be improved, and then folks will feel more, they'll feel more comfortable supporting the program, whether it's through financial contributions, whether it's through whatever. They'll feel more comfortable, because as they know what's up, they'll do whatever. All right, you aren't to be press conference. That's weird. But yeah, we'll do it. As soon as a different person other than us become a head coach, YouTubers aren't worthy. Oh, that's an interesting. Big up, Mr. Special Edition.
That's what I'm saying. Halftime. When the more you and Ryan talk, the more I'm thinking, you know what? It's actually starting to look like it's classism that's on display. Are we not elite enough to be in a press conference with a foreign coach? Is that what it's all about? Are we not professional?
No, them say them about Ryan LFC, because them unprofessional. Them no want, because of the first time, them no want. But this is JFF region. We never understand that. Hard question going to come, easy question going to come. Whether you guys like it We have to just get used to it, Bridget. I don't understand why they don't want a Zoom. It would have been good for the diaspora if you're calling for a clean. Everybody should have involved, Bridget. That would have been really, really good. Yesterday, everybody a search down for the press conference. You don't see that happen with Panama. You don't see that happen to Honduras. We don't see that happen to the United States or the Mexico. Why the JFF ball for everybody forgive them? But come on, we have to step up, man. And these things we are telling you don't think we want better? You don't think Ryan LFC want to sit down on the Ryan LFC show and say, listen, this is how the coach played. This is how the Reggae Boy is going to be successful. Of course, I want to do that. I want better for the football, not because I hear my cuss every day. I want better. And whenever the better come, I will stop my madness. I usually cuss Liverpool. Go check all of my video them. I cuss them out. And soon as club shut me up, I have to just go and eat my pumbo pie. I have to just relax and humble myself. See the team get success there. But I'm telling you half time, I don't know what you and Crystal think about the new coach. I am happy we go out and get a coach that have a lot of experience, qualify a part of coaching staff that qualify the Iceland females team to World Cup. Senior World Cup with the men's team, Euro and all of these things. And I am willing to give him a chance. But
definitely, Ryan. We have to give him a chance because I think it is unfair to judge him based on his previous experience, whether it is good or bad, because then we're already off to the worst possible start. We have to give him a blank slate, as he alluded to. We have to allow him to write his story. And then at the end of his tenure, whether it is the entirety of the 4 years that he was granted, whether it is half of that time, whatever period it is, then we'll judge him accordingly. But we can't judge him based on his predecessors or based on the jobs he's done in the past, because the variables, they're different. And we know with football, there are so many moving parts. It is so dynamic, ever changing. We have to take all those into consideration as well. And I think sometimes we jump too quick to a conclusion when it comes down to a manager, not bearing in mind all the variables that are presented. And I'm willing to give him an opportunity. I know he was a manager of the Icelandic team. We saw what Iceland did, and I made mention of this in one of my videos. It wasn't just about the 11 players or the 23 players that were in the squad. It was about the atmosphere. It was about the motivation that the players had. It was all of that encapsulated into one. That's why the Iceland team did so well. That's why they did what they did, right? And I know sometimes you want to downplay the significance of the 12th man, but fans of Iceland in the Euros and at the World Cup, that's a perfect example of the 12th man. And I know, Ryan, you support Liverpool, you know what it's like. But let me say, those fans were even more raucous than the fans at Anfield, right? So so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let's see if he can get that same sort of vibe down here in Jamaica. Probably not to the same decibels, but we expect the same support and everything, and we expect him to do well. He has quality. I would assume he came at a price as well. The krona is a little bit weaker than the Jamaican dollar. So again, if he's getting paid in US dollars, the Jamaica Football Federation knew what they were doing to get the best of both worlds. But I'll be watching, folks. I am actually cooking.
Halftime, and I need to make my debut on your channel before the year closes off.
All right, I'll send you a link, Crystal. Don't worry. I'll send you the link. Big up yourself, Ryan.
Halftime, don't go nowhere yet, man. Stay, just 1 minute.
Yeah,
You listen to me. Just wait, please.
All right.
Listen.
Right,
How do you build a team? How do you build a team? Because I am saying to the Jamaican fans, I see Liverpool in the dark days, and I see Liverpool in the glory days. And what I learned supporting Liverpool and the coaching staff and the administration, how they go about building a team. When the Jurgen Club take over the team, right, he at least release 30 players.
Watch him. Can just imagine what he's saying.
That's Ryan for you. That's Ryan for you. Right, be yourself.
I'm having an interview and the man and his wife here just talking. Me have to say, excuse me, I don't say I'm doing something. Come on. This is Canada. Come on, bro. So anyway, I know our team did. Jurgen Klopp get rid of around 27 players, right? But not one time Jamaican people understand how you build a team. All right? He bring in Sadio Mane and he bring in about 3 players. Every summer, most of them play them at summertime and buy them for buying to the philosophy.
Yeah.
This is how I learn it. Half time, make a mistake. Crystal make a mistake. All of my co-workers they make a mistake. Going forward, we should not make the same mistake. That means we don't learn from our mistake. So our mistake, okay, bring in Mikel Antonio, bring in Kemaru, bring in Ethan Pinnock, bring in Ivan Toney, bring in this, bring in this, bring in Demagre, bring in this, bring in this. Going forward, that cannot happen. You have to have a base. Okay, right now the Jamaican team, we need a proper right back. Go and get that right back. We need a next proper CDM midfield. Go and get that CDM midfield. We need a next solid
Stick a pin, Dorian. Stick a pin before you even continue. I think the variables are different. And again, I just made mention of the variables. And in international football and in club football, it's different. Because in club football, you don't have a set time frame. Jurgen Klopp had 6 years to build a Liverpool team that's competitive and on top of the world, right? On top of the world. In 2019, fair enough, 2018, 2019, you'd say Liverpool were at top of the world. They were the best team in the world, right? Now, the next World Cup cycle kicks off in a year. If we are taking the approach that you just made mention of, then we may very well get to the next World Cup cycle without a team that's ready. We may very well, this gentleman, his tenure might very well expire without him fully assimilating a team together that can be competitive. It's not a situation. Yeah.
Stop it. I understand the club and international football is different. But what I don't want the Reggae Boys fans to do, calling for 8 players to make their debut in
No, Ryan. No. My argument is
I'm not saying,
yeah.
I'm not saying you know. I am trying to prepare the fans, man. We cannot call for 8 new players to come in the team every single time. Every single time a team call up, we call in 6 different players. It cannot happen. This is the stage where it's supposed to rebuild. Look at what Paul has done. He left a little bit of, it's not in a bad state. The team is not in a bad state. And when I say, go and get a proper right back, go and get a proper CDM, go and get a proper left back, you can continue build on that with but what we don't want to have 8 players every time coming in every single time we have an international break. It cannot happen.
True.
We need to stick to our base. If that player is not good enough, we add to it. That's how you build a team. Whether it be international,
that's been my argument for the longest while as well. I think we need a core group of players where we know that okay, these players make up the core of the team. Now, if you need a left back, probably the left back is injured. Probably the quality in the left back position, especially with the new manager coming in, probably his philosophy will require a left back who is capable of tucking in while at the same time going forward occasionally. Who knows? Probably that will be his approach. No, he'll go out and he'll get a left back who will suit his philosophy, tuck that person in, and then we go from there. But it can't be a case where we're changing the entire back line, or if there are strikers that become available, we're bringing in 3 new strikers at once to make debut. That can't work. We need a core. We need to establish a core where whenever the Jamaican team is playing, these individuals are a part of it. And then we have a few positions where we're flexing a little bit, where this person gets a look in, and then based on the performance, we can say, okay, this is the person that we're going to move forward with. And then we move forward. And don't get me wrong, I believe that players should be selected based on merit. So occasionally we're going to have a number of players who will be coming in to make their debut because, again, players are selected based on merit. But you can't have 6, 7 players coming in at the same time. That doesn't make any sense, right? But again, folks, my pot is burning hot to leave.
All right,
All
brother.
right, half
Half
time.
time. Half time. Big up, brother.
Yeah,
Brother.
man, big up
Half
on
time.
yourself, man.
Hear this
Yeah.
before you go away.
Again, Ryan. Yeah.
When Ryan LFC back is done, I know Crystal and halftime TV have my back. And
Yeah.
me know if me have
100%.
something wrong for the media, when I go call me and say, yo, you know the well, you know, you need to stop that foolishness. So big up to your
You
brother,
don't,
not
I
but
don't know if you
never
listen
respect
to
brother.
halftime, but you don't listen to me, Ryan, because I call you a few times. I say, Ryan, don't do it. Don't make the live stream about this. You say, all right, sis, I won't.
He doesn't listen
Halftime,
to me
I
either,
should
Chris.
blink.
No,
He
sis,
doesn't
that a
listen to me
one
either.
time.
Yeah.
That a one time. I would have to put AP in place. So that was one time. So I my
He,
apology.
he
You know,
doesn't listen
because
to me
if
either, Crystal. Yeah. I'll call him at
You
12
can
in the
teach
night.
Ryan.
I'll call him at 12 in the night. I'm like, right, what did you do? And I had to do it, bro. But right, we'll talk, Crystal. We'll talk. Thank you so very
All
much
right,
for having me.
Ryan.
Everyone in the comment section, remember, smash the like button, subscribe to Talawa TV if you haven't yet done so. Halftime TV, say peace out. Bye bye.
Take care. Definitely go over and check out Halftime TV, guys. One of the most insightful vloggers that belongs to the Jamaican community. I'm not just talking about sports. Obviously, you can see there that he's articulate, reasonable, well balanced. So go ahead and subscribe to Halftime TV. Hit a like on his latest video as well, guys, and take him in because he definitely knows his stuff. And like I said to you, intelligent lad. So you won't be missing out on you won't be regretting it, I should say. Not missing out, but you won't be regretting it. Yeah, Ryan. And like I said, because someone said that, let me try and find Gunners for Life. Good evening to everyone in the comment section. Again, my usuals. I'm not ignoring you all. I'm trying not to name drop anyone because I don't want to miss out on anyone. But I see you all in the comment section, and I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to find a comment here from Gunner for Life. He said so. Okay, here it is. When you have YouTubers accusing the JFF of stealing money without any proof, what do you think will happen? I hear what you're saying, Gunner for Life, and thank you for sharing your opinion. What I'm trying to say to you is I'm not disagreeing with you. I've seen YouTubers and vloggers absolutely bash the Jamaican Football Federation. And that wasn't a problem because they were still being allowed into the press conferences, even after bashing the Jamaica Football Federation. So what I'm saying is what has changed, because I've always given JFF credit for the way that they have interacted or the way that they have given YouTubers and vloggers the permission. And it's a privilege to be in these press conferences. I've always said that it's a privilege to be in that position. They have given them the access. So why take away the access? What's changed between now and then? Because for me, they're still being bashed, maybe in a different way. Now it's actually much more pleasing. That's the irony in all of this. Is the funny thing is now it's actually more pleasing to listen to. So now that people are probably toned things down and they're being a bit more professional with the way they discuss the Jamaica Football Federation, surely that should open up the floodgates for JFF to say, actually, let's let more of them in because there's a change, there's a clean slate. I've sat and I've listened to multiple Jamaican vloggers and YouTubers speak about giving the JFF a new slate. So if they can be mature enough, and a lot of these Jamaican vloggers and YouTubers, the people who work for the Jamaican Football Federation could easily be our parents. So if these young crop of talent can be professional and be willing to say, you know what, let's just start off on a new slate. Let's create a new book, not a new page, not turn a new leaflet, just create a new book. If they can have that professional mindset and that willingness to give you another chance, why can you not do the same for them? And the reason why I bring up classism, Ryan, I've been in press conferences, I've been in press boxes where I enter and people are looking at me like, why is she here? Because of the color of my skin, Ryan. You ask any Black reporter in this country, how does it feel to enter a press conference, especially when you're covering certain sports like your football? Ryan, the moment they see you, they're looking at you. Not all of them, but they look at you. And they look at you, Ryan, they are looking at you because they're thinking, what did you do to be here? You don't deserve to be here. And that's the reason why I said, no, I will talk about this, because it's reminding me of how I've been treated in the media in this country, in terms of being in press conferences, be it when I'm covering football, again, Premier League or English Football League, and people turn around and they look at me and they're like, well, why are you here? I've had people who come over and explain the offside rule to me, Ryan. Why? Because I'm a woman, I don't know football, you're going to explain the offside rule to me? I've had journalists from one of the most recognizable radio station in this country come up to me and say to me that I'm a work experience student, and they have seen me for the best part of, at that point, 4+ years on the trot. And they refer to me as a work experience student because they want to belittle me. So that's why I keep talking about classism. It's not a joke here, guys. I didn't just string up my live stream to talk about something that doesn't need to be talked about. It needs to be addressed because it's unacceptable. When I went to the Commonwealth Games, me and my colleagues, and I'm not going to name them because they won't want to be named, and it's not my place to do so, they were treated differently because of the color of their skin, classism. When I went to cover a particular sport, in case you guys don't know, in the comment section, netball in this country is covered by a certain class of people, Ryan. It's not like me and you that typically are given the permission to go and cover netball. So when you walk into that press box, they're looking at you, Ryan, and them frowns up and them going like you don't deserve to sit down next to them. They act as if you haven't worked to be in your position. And it comes back to who you are and the demographics and the community that you belong to. Because like I said, I could easily ignore what's going on and say, well, that's a Ryan problem because me write for The Voice, so I don't care. But no, I do care because I've been in your position. And you guys as vloggers and YouTubers, you probably don't feel it yet because you probably hasn't realized what's going on. But when you feel it, it's going to hurt because it's coming from your own set of people. Now, I could be wrong and it might not be about class, but it feels like it is about class and elitism. How dare you look down on people? Why? Because they sound different. They sound different to you. They articulate themselves different to you because they don't belong to traditional media. All of a sudden, you're high and mighty and you think that you're better than them. You are not better than them. Because any one of you who work in Jamaica, whether it's the Federation or traditional media, bring yourself to the UK and get a job in the UK and see how them treat you because you're a black woman or you're a black man. See how them treat you when you enter those boardrooms. See how them treat. I don't care how many years you've been working in football, could have been 20 years, 30 years. Put yourself in those positions where you are a minority, because this is what it is. Vloggers and YouTubers, you're a minority. And this is why it pisses me off, because I feel like that is the reason why we've pretty much been frozen out, because we are the minority. And it's wrong for Jamaicans to do that when our national motto is out of many one people. How dare you go against your national motto? You're supposed to make room for everyone. And if you don't like the way people are delivering their content, you speak to them, you address it. You don't just leave it unanswered, because this is how people come up with their own assumption. I could be wrong, but I'm giving you my assumption because you have opened the door wide open for me to give you my assumption, Ryan. You see what I'm saying? Because for me, like, it's not a joke. It's much more deeper than that. How dare you treat your own like that? You think you're better. You are not. Nobody in Jamaica, I don't care what sector you work in, I don't care what field you work in, you are not better than nobody else. Come outside of your comfort zone and come and work in the UK. Come work in England and see how they treat you. And see if you're not just looked at as a minority. Enter those boardrooms and see if people don't turn around and be like, who's this guy? Why is he here? Enter those press rooms and see if they don't look at you and be like, who's this one? How did this one get here? Look like Ryan Freeze, RM screen. Oh.
No, I get a call.
Oh.
I get a call. But I agree with everything you say. And me is a man that I watch a lot of the YouTube of the man and see how the media thing go in England. These things happen across the world and it need to stop. It's not looking good, man. And it's not going to stop because the bigger heads, they're not doing anything about it. But when it happens to some of them people, you hear people speak. You understand? Yeah, it's very, very wrong, man. And Gunners for Life, Bridging, like, what about every time somebody leave the organization, JFF, people leak out, the people who leave the organization say, listen, people is taking stuff. What about the center and FA come out and speak about. You don't believe he's just making up things because him hear the Football Federation where they go to Japan and buy 15 car and have how much taxi and coaster and go club. So what? Only way I go believe say people is thieving from Sidena Mali even call them out. What more Jamaican people need to see? Say the money is taken out of the football and doing this. We're doing other things. You don't need eyeglasses to see that.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Stick a pin in it, right? Because I want to address something again that gonna for like pick up you guys in the comment section. Before I go, I'm gonna try and give you guys all a shout out. I'm not ignoring you guys. I promise you, Rochelle, Coach's Desk, Mr. Reed, Hot Chili, all of my regulars that are always here with me. I'm not ignoring you, Toffee. I'm gonna try and see if I can give you guys all a shout out before I sign off. Now, again, Gunners for life. Someone in the comment section says they're trying to shut Ryan out, whatever. That's fair. That's fair. We both know there's reasons for that. But let's not act as if we don't know that the JFF have a leak in their own camp. So what about that person? What about that person, that individual that deliberately feeds negativity to YouTubers at their own expense to make themselves look good? What about that individual that works for the JFF that don't protect their colleague, that hang their colleague out to dry? How comes they're not disciplined? And I'm led to believe that one isn't disciplined because they come out and they show the same face time and time again. So Olan, you basically, again, this is what I'm saying, it comes back to classism. You only have strength for the local man then. You don't have strength for somebody who, there is a leak inside the Jamaican Football Federation. As soon as you tell him one thing, him spread it across the YouTube community. And he do it for his own expense, at his own expense, because there's a hidden agenda there. And the Jamaican Football Federation know this. So what's more accepting, people in the comment section? And Ryan, what is more accepting? Disloyalty or disrespect? Which one do you prefer? Because right now what you're telling me is you would rather disloyalty, because there is somebody who works for the Jamaica Football Federation who is disloyal. And whilst you are paddling in your boat, that person is drilling holes in your boat. So you rather operate with disloyalty than disrespect? Or are we all here saying that both of them are actually equally as bad? I have no qualms if you want to punish Jamaican YouTubers and vloggers, but punish every single person. We see it time and time again.
But Crystal, as me I go say it again.
Yeah.
I don't care if they want to freeze me out. But remember, I am just one person. Crystal do things different. Coaches do things different. I am sure sports do things different. Military gonna do things different. Sports down the middle do things different. Everybody have a way how to do things. You're going to get it raw, and I'm just going to tell you the blatant truth. And the truth always are going to set me free, and the truth hurt. You know much of them want to be friend with me from the Football Federation. You know much of them want to be friend. If tell you how much of them I have on my WhatsApp number, how much of them give me information. So I don't want nobody come tell me nothing. And you giving me information, me a burn your skin said we. The whole on the corrupt, the whole on must left the football. And me I go always talk. When you can froze me out, when you can keep me out of press conference. But remember, Crystal do things different. She need to be in there. Coach does things different. Coaches do things different. Him can be in there. Simon do things different. Him can be in there. My co-worker them do things different from me. But don't bother come like you want to come froze me. That not hurt me. I'm telling you already. Player keep them interview and me stay by myself. Because me always say, it's not player build me. Fans them build me. Them share the content and get me out there. So if them want to freeze me out, players tell them players blackmail me. No, the JFF blackmail me. Them can't deal with the truth. So me now go change and try to stoop down to for them level. Serious thing, Crystal. May I tell you this, player blackmail me, player tell other player not do interview with me. Me for do interview with couple Englishman and the man him say, yo, the lead people in the team say, yo, me always talk bad about them. Me never have nothing positive to say about them, which is lie. If a player play good, me give him credit. If a player do bad thing, behind the scene, check the people. Me I go talk about it because it's not right. So no matter because I'm me when I go give my co-worker them bad name. The whole of we do things different. Get the right people them in there. If you believe I am the bad apple. And me not gonna change, you know. I am not going to change. I'm going to be who I am. Yeah, if a 10 people watch me, make the 10 people watch me. When me I do my Liverpool show, I learned that. If 10 people watch me, I appreciate them 10 people that watch me. It not affect me. I love this. I am doing this because I love it. I am doing this because I don't really have any friend in Canada. I mean, I really want a friend. My circuit small. Me alright. Me no need friend. Me just turn on my YouTube channel and if a 5 people watch me, I learn how to be satisfied with what I have. What me have. 10 people watch me for my Liverpool show. I'm happy. Me stop do it. A lot of people say, nah, make them. Me not stop do it because I'm happy. I mean, I talk about my football club. So JFF them can keep froze me out. But me nah stop talk. And me nah stop say them I do what them not supposed to do. Players must come first, Crystal. Players must come first. Administration is all about them. They want to travel first class. And the players them want to go out there. The players them are the product. I mean, now stop saying, Bridging, put the players them first. It's not Uno first. Stop make it be all about Uno. It's not about Uno. It's about the player. Players is the product. How can the president getting 5,000 per game? And God bless what the females team I get. God bless what the players them get. How about you, my cricket, stop travel with the team? That per game could have paid 2 of the players them. How about that? How about you don't have to go on every single trip when the team is playing? You think the United States president is traveling with the team or the Canadian president traveling with the team? We don't have the money, but yet still we have pack up the plane with a bag of people in the administration. How about save some of the money and pay the coach? How about pay off all the coaches who own? When you take people for idiot and take people for fool, when you can't quiet me. Anyway, sister, me go run leave you, you know. Me go run leave you. Me go run leave you. Sis, me go run leave you.
All right.
I love you and respect you. Me have to do that for my show. And me not really want. Me love you, sis. Me love you. Me love you. You understand?
I understand.
Me love you. Me love you, my sister. And me not go ruin your reputation. Me love you. Sis, me want all the best for you. So me go run leave you because them want control what me for say. And me not gonna allow them for control what me for say. And before that, me get no more, I'm a co-worker them in no problem. And that's why I sis, me try to stay up on my platform. Because all of you guys do. All of you guys do things different and I don't want to hurt you guys. Alright, sis?
I understand.
Me love you from the bottom of my heart. Respect. Big up to all of the fans them. Me love you. But me I gonna be Ryan. Crystal, nothing but love. Thanks for having me. Peace
You're
out.
welcome. Take care, Ryan. All right, guys, I understand what you guys are saying. And Gunner for life, big up yourself again. I've deliberately kept your comment on screen. Again, you're making valid points and I'm not disagreeing with you. But what I'm saying is if you're going to be punishing one, punish everyone. Don't just punish one person because you feel like they're beneath you. Punish everyone. And we all know that there is at least one person in the Jamaica Football Federation that is disloyal to their co-workers. We've seen it, we've heard it right here on YouTube, right in front of us. How do you know that the league is? And this is why I say that when information is presented to YouTubers, people do it because they have a hidden motive. Whether or not the information is accurate or not, they know that because they share certain information, it's going to generate a certain level of negativity, hence presenting the information to whoever. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, that you have people who are being disloyal because if you are loyal to your company or your organization, you shouldn't even be leaking out negative information, be it confidential information or not. You shouldn't be leaking it. You shouldn't be adding fuel to the fire, but you do for your own hidden motive. You're not supposed to be going against your federation, going against your company, going against your colleague, but you feed certain information out there because you know how YouTubers are going to react. So you know when to turn to YouTubers because you know that you can get something out of it, but as soon as they are no use to you, you turn the other cheek. That's unacceptable. That's not right. So now It's down to the rest of the vloggers and the YouTubers, because I know nobody can't put nothing in my lap and say, create a video on that, because I've not done it before and I'm not going to do it. That's not my style. But the ball is in you guys' court for when that particular individual approaches you guys with information. You're going to have to pull them to one side. You're going to have to pull them to one side and have one or two words up with them. Because they're clearly playing a game here. Everybody else is playing dominoes and they're playing chess. Everybody here in the comment section playing dominoes and this person is playing chess. So vloggers, YouTubers, you need to have a word with that particular individual, because I am actually quite flawed that they don't receive no punishment. And I'm saying they don't receive no punishment because time and time again, they do the same thing. They show that they are unprofessional. They show that they are disloyal, but they're not penalized. But vloggers and YouTubers are penalized. It's unacceptable. Again, what do you guys prefer? If you're talking about growth and stability for football, for both the men's team and the women's team, which do you prefer, disloyalty or disrespect? Because you can't say the YouTubers are disloyal towards you, because where is your loyalty to us as the 12th man? You can't accuse them of being disloyal. You can say they're disrespectful, but what about your colleague? And I know you're sat there and I know that you look at your colleague once or twice and you're thinking, is it him? Yes, it is him. It's not her, it is him. YouTubers aren't fly on the walls within the four walls of JFF. So how do they know about certain information? How do they know about certain information? Because there is an individual giving them that information. And then those YouTubers are then made to have a negative picture painted about them. Or one could argue and say they paint their own negative picture. No, there's a Picasso, and it's not the YouTuber or the vlogger. It is your colleague that's doing the painting. And it's a win-win situation for them, because whatever they can't say in front of a camera, they let the vlogger or the YouTuber speak on their behalf. Because they're playing chess, so they let the YouTuber or the vlogger speak on their behalf. And then the door gets shut in the vlogger or the YouTuber's face. And that's what upsets me. That's what's more upsetting, that you're playing a nasty, vicious game and you're coming out on top. And that's why I said I had to do the live stream here, guys, because I could easily say every time I go into a press conference, I go on behalf of my paper. I'm just in a privileged position where my newspaper and my editor says to me, yes, you can use the information on your platform as well, because he trusts me that I'm going to be professional and I'm going to handle the topic of conversation in the rightful and respectful manner, as I should, right? So I could easily go to my bed and say, well, I don't really care if Ryan, coach's desk, formula, if halftime TV, if the rest of them get penalized, I don't care. I could easily say that. But why? You have to be fair. You can't just penalize one set of people and don't penalize. It's the same thing happened with the players, guys. Even with the Andre Blake situation. Paul Hall said it in his press conference some weeks back. Paul Hall said when he was calling upon his soldiers weren't ready to go to war. They didn't even show up. They didn't show up. But you will still give a call up to that particular soldier who apparently wasn't ready to go for war. Wasn't ready to go to war for his country. But then you're going to penalize Andre Blake. Penalize the two of them. If one can't play, the other shouldn't be able to play neither. This is what I'm saying, guys. If you're going to penalize one, penalize every single soul. And you know that there are people that are disloyal within the Football Federation as well. So it's not as if I'm sat here just making stuff up. I know that after you guys have your meeting, you're looking at that person and thinking, is it him that's sharing the information? I have news for you. Yes, it is. It is him that's sharing the information. I don't know about you, but I'm not working with no one who is disloyal. I take the disrespect because it's down to me how I react. But the disloyalty, that can't work. That can't work. The disloyalty cannot work. So for me, the disloyalty within the four walls of the Jamaica Football Federation by your own colleague is more damaging long-term, currently in the present and in the future, than the disrespect from the Jamaican vloggers and YouTubers. How can you be building a foundation and every time you turn around, somebody a water down your cement? Every time you lay a brick, by tomorrow morning when you come, the brick knocked down. You ain't going to be able to build nothing. What are you building? Every time you build something, someone is knocking it down. Every time you put the boat out on the water, someone comes and drills a hole in your boat. You're not going to get from A to B. So you're worrying about the wrong set of people. You need to address your problems at home before you look to your neighbor and before you look to whoever. Address your problems at home first before you put your nose or stick your nose up at somebody else. Address your problems at home first, because there is a problem there, clearly. What are you guys saying in the comment section? I need to do a call back. Let me just call someone back. Right. Bear with me, guys. Sometimes it's weird I'm just talking at you all, but okay, let me just call someone back quickly. Let's see if they pick up. Mr. Beckford, how are you? Good evening.
Good night.
How are you?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
I'm feeling great.
You gotten over the COVID?
Yes, I feel as if I didn't catch COVID.
That is good. That's what I like to hear. That is wonderful stuff. What do you make of the conversation so far?
Well, I joined late, so I don't really know. I missed out a lot. Just joined.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about
5 minutes I joined.
Solids, big up yourself. I'm liking the EP, by the way. I've played your EP a couple times. So yeah, congrats on your EP. And I hope that there's a tour coming up soon. You're a businessman, you're business minded, so there must be some sort of a tour coming up. So best of luck with your career as a musician. I'm pretty sure that you're going to go far. Because your music, I've listened to them from I've done a comparison, just listened to a couple of your songs from a few years back to the present, and there's a clear improvement there in terms of the overall quality. So Crowd Control, guys, by one of our own from the Jamaican community, Solids, go ahead and listen to his EP. Definitely worth a listen, and it's a variety of songs, guys, like 6 songs there for you to listen to. Variety of songs. I'm pretty sure you'll find one that you like, so go ahead and take in his EP. Sorry about that, Mr. Beckford. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
So as I was saying to you, sorry to cut you off. As I was saying to you, the topic of the conversation is about Jamaican YouTubers being frozen out of the press conferences. I'm not sure if that's something that you've come across, but it's definitely in the works at the moment.
But why? Press conference, is it meant for those who can attend?
Well, that's an excellent question. Like I said, I've given the Jamaica Football Federation credit in the past for the way that they have willingly accepted vloggers and YouTubers into the press conference, because that's kind of like a rarity. You don't usually see it. Sometimes it's about who you know, not what you know, to give you these types of privilege. But I've also noticed over the last string of press conferences that certain people aren't there. And what I'm saying, Mr. Beckford, is if you're going to penalize one, penalize everyone. And that penalty and that discipline should come internally, because we all know that the JFF has at least one person in that federation that's disloyal. So why aren't they penalized, but you have strength to penalize your 12th man? It doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm asking people in the comment section, which do you prefer? Disloyalty, which comes from your own colleague, or the disrespect, which comes from the YouTubers and the vloggers? Because I'd rather you disrespect me than be disloyal to me.
Yes.
If you're disloyal, you can cost a person their life or their job. You disrespect me, that time I'm not gonna brush that off, I'm gonna go again. I couldn't care less. But if you're disloyal, you can stop a person. You can either bring that person's life to an end, or you can stop them from putting food on their table. And that is why I say I'd rather you disrespect me than to be disloyal to me. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mr.
because
Beckford.
loyalty goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the person can disrespect you, but at the end of the day, the fact they disrespect you, it's telling you two things. It's either they don't want your friendship anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or they can really do without you. But loyalty can cost you your life, of course, because if you're loyal, you're going to sell out the person and so on, or put the person's job or life in jeopardy.
100%.
But I normally think that press conference is open to anyone who can join at the time, because what I realized, if is not doing it and putting out for the public.
Yeah.
And we as a supporter need to know they are not putting out anything for us to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So the YouTubers and other media personnel are important to this press conferences. I don't see why they are choosing sides or blocking out YouTubers. But I realize the pressure and the question asked, we cannot handle it.
But the thing is, Mr. Beckford, how YouTube works with regards to, not YouTube, with regards to virtual interviews is, as the person who is taking charge of the virtual interview, it's down to you to accept a question. So you can say, okay, yes, Crystal, go ahead and ask a question. Now, if I step out of line, you are in charge of controlling that press conference. So you can interject and say, actually, I don't like what you've said. Don't go no further. There's plenty of times when I've been at the Emirates. I've got to turn that down for a second. Plenty of time I've been at the Emirates, guys, doing press conference, and someone, actually the worst one is when you're at Wembley, when you're doing like an FA Cup game, and somebody asks a question, and the press officer would say, no, we're not answering that, or change the question. And you have, as the journalist or the reporter, you have to change the question. You have to change the question, or your question don't get asked. So you can't just say because you don't want one or two vloggers in the press conference, you're not going to invite the rest of the vloggers, because that isn't right. And you don't have to accept that whoever that vlogger or YouTuber is, you don't have to accept them into the press conference. So that for me is not even a good enough excuse to shut out everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah. Because I see somebody here saying, I think they're afraid of the questions that you all going to ask. They are afraid of YouTubers. But afraid of what? You set the tone. You control the narrative. As the person who is leading the press conference, you can still control the narrative. You say, look, guys, we're not discussing X, we're not discussing Z. If the YouTuber or the reporter goes against what you have said to them, you reiterate, we are not discussing that. And if it's virtual, you have the option to mute the person or take them out of the press conference. So again, it's not a good enough reason to say we're afraid of what they're going to ask. You tell the people in the press conference, we are not talking about this subject and we're not talking about that subject. And if they go against it, you reiterate it. They go against it again, you kick them out. You speak to them privately and say, look, next time if you do this again, you will be barred from all press conferences. But you don't just slam the door in everyone's faces and say that you are all part of one category, because that is wrong. Because even me, I don't like to categorize everyone from the Jamaica Football Federation, because I know there are some good people there. I've interacted with people who know how to do their job well. So they're not all bad apples.
Do you think that is unprofessional by the cases? I kind of think so.
It is unprofessional. I think it's unprofessional, and for me, they've let themselves down because they did something that I thought was so impressive. The fact that they've given the little man, when I say the little man, I'm referring to YouTubers and vloggers, the privilege to be in press conferences. Such a rarity that I thought that I took my hats off to them. I was like, you know what? That's a fantastic thing that they've done. And I was crediting them to say that, you know what, that's the uniqueness of being able to be so close to Jamaican football, the fact that they don't stick their noses up at you in comparison to what other countries have done. But they're not acting like those other countries. They're acting like those other countries that would look down on certain people from certain demographics. It's exactly what you're doing. Because unless you come out and say that, look, the reason why YouTubers aren't allowed in press conferences is because we don't want this person in the press conference, we don't want that person in the press conference. They're not going to come out and say that. So their whole reasoning is open to assumption. And that's a problem that they've created.
I think they want it easy on their part, but it's not going to be easy because the fans here now are not pleased with what they are doing now. And I believe that when I shut out the local man that is telling a lot, that is saying something, why only the bigger media are allowed? In the case that the smaller man are asking more intelligent questions that, put them under more pressure, because so press media personnel would come and normally ask basically basic questions. But the persons that are following the football federation and the activities and so on, like you following the rugby girls that know the right questions to ask, and many other bloggers who are following the reggae boys as well, they know questions to ask because they know what is happening. They ask certain questions, JFS those like what they are being asked, because they most of the time they can't really find the answer. They try to go around the people and put us in the dark. So I don't know if it's a case where the smaller men are being the one that are putting them under more scrutiny, which they should be, because they want clarity from our football program.
Thing is, you can't run away from scrutiny now, because how are you going to improve? You can't run away from scrutiny. We all sit here and we criticize things that the team does that we're not pleased about, that the managers do, that JFF does, and the 12th man. We criticize each other sometimes, but it's about the delivery, Mr. Beckford. There's nothing wrong with criticizing someone, it's the delivery. So if we're in a press conference and you don't like the way a particular question is being asked, you tell the person you don't like it. It's very simple.
Just as that. Because I've seen questions, I've seen many press conferences. I follow City and I watch some press conferences, and there are some questions that they refuse to answer based on what is asked. I'll probably laugh it off. Because the question, sometimes they have ridiculous questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's look at the UK, for example. How many times have we seen the UK write newspapers in the UK? And also I was about to say their name, thankfully I didn't. And also certain what's the right word for them? Media companies, they run particular narratives on certain players of certain demographics. So for example, like a Raheem Sterling. A Raheem Sterling is only ever Jamaican born Raheem Sterling when apparently he's done something wrong. Now, those same people who have unfairly criticized Raheem Sterling and create these negative headlines with hidden connotations behind them, they are still allowed to go to press conferences. And this is people who work for media companies or traditional news outlets, or barefaced tearing down a black man simply because he is a black man. They're not banned from press conferences. What could be worse than that, than you trying to tear down someone or defamate a person's image simply because they're black? What's worse than that?
I don't see anything worse than that.
What is worse than that? But they are still allowed to go to press conferences. There's no ban there for them. There's times when I'm in press conferences, for example, like at the Emirates, and someone asks a question and I'm like, oh my God, you did not just ask that. But the press officer deal with them, because rather than the manager or the head coach having to answer the question, guys, the press officer would say, okay, we're moving on, or now's not the time for that question, for example, and they move on. So
Okay.
yeah, I get what some of you are saying in the comment section. Gunners boss, I get you. Most of us understand where you're coming from, but I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you because there's ways to get things done. There's ways to get Mr. Beckford there's a bit of a noise coming from your background.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm at work.
That's
why.
okay. So there's different ways to go about things, guys. So I get what you guys are saying about vloggers saying this, and you cannot penalize everyone. If you're not even penalizing your colleague who is putting holes into your boat, how do you even have the audacity to penalize vloggers? It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. Does not make no sense to me. You either penalize everyone or you don't penalize a soul, in my opinion. That's the way I would do things.
So,
yes.
is there a set amount of persons that are allowed at press conference then?
From the way I see it, no, because remember, press conferences now, because one of the good things of the pandemic is it's taught us that we can go ahead and Mr. Beckford, let me just call you back in about 5 minutes time. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Coach, how are you?
What's up, Crystal?
I am well. How are you? You sound healthy. What's the secret?
Don't take life too serious.
All right. Noted.
And don't stress yourself over things that you have no control over.
I like that laugh that you just did. That's a laugh of wealth. I'm not even gonna ask you the secret about that because you're not gonna tell me. So I'll leave you to it.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Crystal.
But it is a laugh. That's how a rich person's laugh. Rich people have them own little unique laugh, but I don't know how that laugh goes. I don't know how to give that laugh. So, like I say, I'm not gonna ask you your secret. So I'll leave you alone.
We have not spoken since I put you across my lap. You know.
When was that?
When?
Have we not spoken since you came on my channel last? Have we not spoken since you came on my channel?
No, since I put you across my lap and give you that 3-1, you know, we have not spoken. But you gotta try and downplay it.
Wow, I love it. I love the confidence. Quiet as a church mouse last season, now he's a lion. I love it. Enjoy.
Of course. I have to make noise when I have to make noise. You know, when I can't make noise, I put on my seatbelt.
I know you've been wanting to say a lot. Don't be afraid to message me next time whilst the wounds are freshly open. What do you make of what's going on, Coach, with regards to the topic of the conversation?
You know, it's interesting that you brought up this topic, Crystal, because I want to ask you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a link provided?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't see a link.
Okay.
I didn't see a link.
Because I was told that it's not going to be an online press conference. It's going to be face-to-face.
Yeah. One thing with that, Coach, is this. Sorry to interject there. One thing with that is to give us a virtual press conference is not hard, you know, Coach, and you know this because you're into IT. All you have to do, Coach, is put the laptop in front of you and you open up your Zoom. Because Coach,
yes, I know.
Coach, that is exactly what happens when the women's team and the men's team are playing CONCACAF competitions. Journalists all over the world who are not there on the ground are able to ask those questions. So again, we can't even make excuses and say, well, it's an in-person. Press conference are typically in person.
No, Crystal, I'm not making excuses.
No, not you, because I'm referring to
Okay, I'm
No,
just
no.
stating what I heard
Mm-hmm.
before I start to,
Yeah.
step
Yeah.
out the whip.
Yeah.
I'm not putting them across my lap, because they are men. You understand? I'll put you across my lap. Anyways, separate and apart
Coach,
from that.
because that is the beauty of the pandemic. One of the things with the pandemic is the pandemic have told us that we don't have to be on the ground to cover a game or do a press conference.
Thank you.
My editor
Thank
tells
you.
me that he doesn't even need to go to football games no more. He can stay at home, watch the game, and do the write-up and do whatever he needs to do because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. The next point is that I heard Ryan said they froze him out and it affected us. And it's interesting to hear that, because I didn't hear Ryan's name came up. Another person's name came up. Why they did not want to make apparently the Zoom link to get more persons to attend.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that I'm hearing Ryan's name coming up in on this show where he was frozen out. But his name was not the name that came up.
But Coach, how does that make you?
They did not make that because of a particular individual, and the person's name was called, and I'm not going to be calling the person's name.
But Coach, how does that make you feel, knowing that you have invested so much time into both the men's team and the women's team? Because when you go into press conferences, unless I'm missing something here, I've not heard you step out of line. So how do you feel knowing that you've been penalized because they don't want a particular individual to be in a press conference?
It makes me feel bad, because irrespective of what persons say and what persons do, nobody should be marginalized. You understand? Nobody should be. If one person, quote unquote, error, don't lock out none of it. In any case, let the person come still. Everybody's supposed to come, because it is media, and if you don't like what the person is saying, you can reach out to the person.
Exactly.
But don't shut the door on everybody, including the person that you want the door to be shut on. Me no appreciate that. None at all.
Exactly. And that's why I did the live stream. It's funny because I just clicked on a comment here from Kamal Reed. Big up yourself, Doc. He actually messaged me yesterday, Coach, and he said, were you present for the press conference? And I told him no, and I gave him the reason as to why I weren't present at the press conference. And I said, Ryan called me today, because I wasn't even going to read too much into it. Ryan called me and we were talking, and I was like, actually, you made a couple good points. So then I said to Ryan, I'm actually going to do a live stream about this, because it's outrageous. If you're in fear that a YouTuber might step out of line, you warn them. You can't say that you're doing it to protect the coach, because this coach, he's heard it all. He's been around the block.
But Crystal, how are we going to step out of line?
You tell me, because I've been in press conference. I've not heard anyone step out of line.
Is it the nature of the questions?
I'm assuming so.
Know. We don't
assuming
step out of line. We ask the questions that are pertinent to what the fans seek to know and want to hear.
I think it's the nature of the question. It's the nature of the question, but you can't shy away from that.
When you shy away from that, I think my show is titled Let Things in the Past Stay in the Past. If that was the case for the new press conference, the new coach, then they are being hypocritical. Because they put up that post that they're basically sharing a sentiment that
yes,
coach made mention of.
And I'm glad you touched on it.
Why you shut us out?
Yes.
If you're clearing or cleaning the slate, understand? I mean, it doesn't even borders on hypocrisy. It is hypocrisy. Loud and clear.
No, you're right.
If we ask questions that are strong questions, why is it a bother? Are you threatened
Mm-hmm.
by us asking the questions that are the right questions? I mean, but I'm not gonna allow this to perturb me. But it's a good thing, Crystal, that you did a show on it.
I had
show
to,
them
coaches, this because it was bothering me.
because
It bothered me because I said, no, look, the guys that do YouTube vlogging and YouTube content creators, they invest more time in YouTube content creators than arguably even mainstream media. And I'm talking about in terms of a digital format. Arguably, they're investing more time in. It's all about the digital age, guys. It's and like I said, I could have turned a blind eye. I could have looked the other way because I could have said, well, I don't care. I write for the Voice newspaper anyways. I could have been a little bit of a snob and say, well, that's their problem. But like I've said, coach, I've gone to games. Depending on the games that you cover, I've gone to Premier League games at my favorite club, and I have people from a particular radio station looking at me and calling me a work experience student because of who I am. I've covered events where people have looked at me in a certain way where they're like, why are you here? So this is why I keep reverting it back to classism. And I'm hoping, I'm getting a bit of a feedback, coach.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm hoping that it isn't classism, because if it is classism, then we as Jamaican people are going against our national motto of out of many one people. You've gone against it. Even if it's not classism, you've gone against your national motto of out of many one people. Because that's supposed to mean that you're willing to listen to every single voice. And in terms of what coach was saying, this is what was being shared across the Jamaica Football Federation social media, and it's a quote from the press conference, yesterday's press conference from the gaffer for the men's team. And the quote is, I hope all the things that happened in the past is in the past. I hope we can start. It says, I hope when we start, we don't take problems from the past to the present. So I'm hoping that moving forward, whoever made that decision to shut out YouTubers, I'm hoping that they will go back and see that you made a mistake there and you need to tidy it up because it shouldn't happen again. You're supposed to leave the past behind you. Like I said, the majority of these YouTubers, for the people who operate in the Jamaica Football Federation, you could easily be our mom and dads for most of us. So if the Jamaican YouTubers and vloggers can have the maturity to say, let's give you guys a clean slate, why you can't do it for the vloggers in return?
But here this here one done say him just say TVJ Sports News use a clip from a YouTuber from an interview with Rudolph Speed.
Really? but coach, come to think of it, that's happened with my platform as well. That's happened with my platform where mainstream media in Jamaica, and thank you for those of you in Jamaica who have given me credit, you've used my interviews. So how is it that we're good?
But Crystal, mainstream media use my thumbnail with my logo on it and don't even change it.
Did it say coach's desk?
Me said it, did my logo upon it. No joke. I kid you not. And I laugh when I see it.
It's funny. That's like you're copying your classmates' homework and you put their name on
it.
And
you write them name. Yeah, man. Same so.
That is hilarious, but yeah, coach, you know.
Anyways, Crystal, I'm sorry I have to run my time as
coach, you're not fooling me. Now. If you want to fuel up the G-Wagon, go and fuel up the G-Wagon, all right?
No,
nobody come tell me nothing about you're gonna run and all of that.
Crystal, nobody
coach,
have a G-Wagon.
Somebody in the comment section tell me say I have a Puma deal. Me didn't even know say you signed to Puma. But anyways, enjoy your Puma deal and your G-Wagon, because when coach stop drive, guys, the wheels keep spinning. So let him go and enjoy his evening.
Big up yourself, Crystal.
Thank you,
love
coach.
And respect all the time.
Same back, right back at you. Love always.
Yeah, man.
Take care, coach.
All right, cool.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Yeah, guys, before I forget my manners, thank you to Ryan LFC, Halftime TV, Coach's Desk, and Philip Beckford for either calling into the show or coming on the live stream itself. So again, this is a quote there right in front of you guys from yesterday's press conference of the gaffer. And he's speaking positivity, and that's what it's all about. Let me reiterate. He says, I hope all the things that happened in the past is in the past. I hope when we start, we don't take problems from the past to the present. And I think that's something that the federation need to implement going forward, because you can't just shut out everyone from YouTube. You can't do that. Why did you let them in the first place? You should never have let us in then, if that's the case. Should never have let us in. You give the privilege and then you take away the privilege without reason. And if it's just a case of one bad apple in your eyes, you address that bad apple. If you're conducting the interviews, guys, virtually, they usually done the press conferences are usually done virtually via Zoom. So we all make sure everybody's supposed to use Zoom by now. In case you haven't used Zoom, how it works is you let the person into the meeting. And if you see the person come into the meeting and you don't recognize their name, or the press conference, you don't recognize their name, and you take a gamble and they go ahead and they ask a question. Once they open their mouth, you know them, but you know them by the sound of their voice anyways. So you can just go ahead and tell them that, hey, look, this is the house rules. We're not discussing this, not discussing X, not discussing Z. And if they go against that, you kick them out of the press conference. And they can't be mad at you because you've already laid down the ground rules. So yeah, guys, please don't let this become a habit where you're just picking and choosing when to turn to vloggers and when to turn to YouTubers. And if you're going to discipline or shut out YouTubers, then Mr. Ricketts, you have to look at the people within your federation, because you have at least one disloyal person in your federation. It's down to you what you choose to do with them. But I know I wouldn't work with someone who is disloyal, because that person won't have your back. I've said it time and time again. That person is not going to have your back. It's down to you what you want to do with that individual, though. But I know what I'll be doing. For certain, I know what I'll be doing. Mainstream sports in JA is an absolute joke, because the storytelling, I get what you mean. I know you're talking about the delivery and the storytelling. And with YouTube, the beauty of digital media is multiple voices that you're hearing. Multiple voices that you're hearing, and people tell their own story in their own unique way. Yeah, thank you. I've seen a few of my interviews that's been used on mainstream media, which is great when they give you credit, not so great when they use it and don't give you credit. So yeah, that was fantastic. So, and it's not even, I don't want it to become a thing where it's traditional media versus new media, because nobody in their rightful mind can disrespect traditional media. They are the foundation. They are the mothers and the fathers of where we're at. They did it. They laid down the foundation, laid down the bricks, and we're just adding to what they've created. And it's a case of wanting to work side by side, not against. I get a feeling that it's more us against them against us type of mentality. And it shouldn't be like that. Because like I said, if you come out of Jamaica, irrespective of who you work for, I don't care if you work for the federation or if you work for a media outlet. If you put yourself in this country, you become a minority where people will look down on you, frown upon you. Worse when they hear your accent. You're nothing to them. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Be careful of how you treat people. Let's see. Tennessee Lewis. You're far too kind, Rockford. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. But thank you for the acknowledgement. Oh, okay, I read that wrong. It's at the bottom. It's at the bottom. Press 4479. I don't even know my own number. +4479495637 something. It's right there at the bottom for you. You can go ahead and call in before I close off. So I get it. I'm getting a better understanding as to why they did what they did, but you can't do stuff like that, guys, because people are going to draw their own assumption. I'm gonna draw my own assumption. I'm not involved with what's going on in terms of people's reasoning or gossiping or this or that. I don't know half of it, if I'm being honest with you, because I'm in my own little corner. I'm in my own little corner, so I ain't got a clue what's going on the majority of the time as it relates to the drama. I'm not really into the drama. I told you guys already, I'm not into drama. When I have a healthy conversation about football. I could call you back. I could definitely call you back. I haven't done a live stream for you guys in a while, so I'm gonna be here for a little while longer. So if anyone wants to call in, you can go ahead and call in. Matter of fact, let me just do a quick little big up with you guys in the comments section there. Robert Smith, Gunner's Boss, Philip Beckford, Rockford, Big Deal, Tennessee Lewis. How do I pronounce your name? I don't want to butcher your name, and I feel like I'm going to. Let me know how I pronounce your name. Big Deal, Hot Chili. Nitro, is that how I pronounce it? Is it Nit or Nye? If I butchered it, let me know. Everton Jackson, Kamora Reed, Jamaican Guna. Coaches, that's Dre Anyweather Sports. My apologies, sir. I didn't see you. One Don MUFC 45. Just thought of something funny with your club, but I'm not gonna pull your leg tonight. Paul Starbucks. Pick up yourself. Big deal, Len. Just go through this quickly. Lee, I didn't even know that you were present. Both of the Lees are present. Didn't know you guys are in the comment section. Tuffy. See if I can do some big up. El Gran Giro. Is that it? John Powell. 1 second there, Mr. Beckford. Rashid Matheson. Pretty sure I pronounced your name correct. Joanne Blake, halftime, he was here for the first part of the show. Go over to his channel, guys. Definitely go and check out Halftime TV. If you want to listen to someone intelligent talk about football, probably someone that you can definitely stick on the telly and just do your work, or if you work from home, do your work, personal work, cleaning, whatever it may be. Definitely can soak him up. Coach's Desk, check out Coach's Desk channel as well. Dre Anyweather's channel as well. I already told you guys about Solids. He's got a EP out, Control the Crowd, one of our own Jamaican born. So make sure you go and check that one out. That's called Crowd Control, just to reiterate. There's a song there for everyone. Ryan LFC, go and subscribe to Ryan LFC. Bartender Thompson. So many of you have tuned in tonight, and my apologies, I didn't get to give you guys an earlier shirt out. I apologize for that. Blurred, Robert Smith, Humble One. Let me go through the rest of your comments there. I'll be with you 1 second, Mr. Beckford.
Okay.
Let's just see. I'm just trying to see some of the comments of I can't even see them because they were such a while back. I think Georgia Girl, she was here. Rich for Sports was here. Coach Karumi, big up yourself. Rochelle was here at one point. Jersey Boy, Mr. Scott, Tasia, big up yourself. That from my memory, these are a couple of the people that were here. Donovan Phillips, big up yourself as well. Eric Sewell, Tall Black IT Push, Special Edition, Travis, Dockland Stennett. You was here earlier on MPEG TV. Owen. I saw Owen earlier on at the start of the show. Damian McGregor was here as well. Leon Price. Please forgive me, guys. I can't remember everyone's name off the top of my head. Roran Noble. They were here at the early start of the show. If I missed out on anyone's name, I apologize. I've tried my best to give you all some sort of acknowledgement. If I missed out on your name, it was not intentional. Thank you. Never ever intentional. Thank you for blessing me with a moment of your time. Mr. Beckford, back over to you now, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Yes, you must have I'm well. You must have listened to what Coach's desk said earlier on. What do you make of his comments?
I didn't hear it all, but it's just a little piece I hear, and you have a point in what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better to. The only thing left for us to ask is why this move and why no.
Yeah.
And why they are biased about it, because they allowed they didn't do this for the new coach press conference.
Yeah, this was for the new Record Boys head coach. It was from his press conference. But like I said, I've noticed because someone brought it to my attention. Fresh God, I don't even think I gave you your big up. My apologies, Fresh. Apologies if I didn't earlier on. Yes, Mr. Beckford. A YouTuber brought it to my attention some weeks back, or maybe some months back. And at the time I didn't really catch on to the points that were being made because I didn't identify it at the time. But as time goes on, I start to notice one or two things. And if it's a case that the federation has a problem with one or two people, then address that with whoever you have the problem with, or don't let them into the press conference. Ryan will tell you himself that I can't speak for Ryan, but I'm almost certain that Ryan wouldn't even try to enter a press conference. I'm almost certain that Ryan's not going to try to enter a press conference. So if you're worried about him, please don't be worried, because he's not even going to try. I'll be amazed if Ryan tries to enter a press conference, because knowing him, he's not going to try.
And Formula Sport.
Yeah, but I've been in press conferences with those guys, and I can't recall them asking a question that's out of line. I don't recall Coach's desk or Formula asking a question that's out of line. I can't recall that ever happening.
Even if it's out of line, that shouldn't be the main reason for blocking everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a matter of saying to Coach's desk or to Formula, don't let that happen again. You can speak to them in private. And knowing who they are, I'm pretty sure they would have apologized and said, you know what, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. They wouldn't be high and mighty and say, yeah, I don't care. Next time I'm in that press conference, I'm going to act the same way I acted. They will act accordingly, but I don't think they would even do that, because I've not heard them do it.
But the only thing they would do in the press conference is ask questions and hoping that if whoever they ask can answer it.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. I just wanted to address a few things because I didn't like what I saw yesterday. I know a few people in the press in the comment section have said it's because of one or two YouTubers. Okay, I get what you guys are saying. I also understand that you guys say that vloggers and YouTubers have disrespected the federation. My argument for that is, which is better, disrespect or disloyalty? Some can say that both is equally as bad, but for me, disloyalty is worse than disrespect. So with that being said, if you're going to punish someone for being disrespectful, punish the person in your team internally that is disloyal. That's just what I believe in.
I have a question though. They're saying that disrespectful. But I have seen a lot of the contents that the YouTuber post about JFF and the how they are going about our football, and most of what they are doing content for, they are raising concern in terms of how JFF is going about their business and what they're hiding from the public. So I've yet to see or watch a content where they say disrespect the JFF in a way where you can say, you know what, you step over the line, or this is too much. They're raising concern because they do care about Jamaica football. I want to see progress as well.
Yeah.
This to me, it seems like some politics is involved, and you know that anything politics is involved, it's not good. It's not good.
Yes, there's definitely, as ever, politics is always on display. So there's some politics involved there for certain, but it's unfortunate. Guys, I've got about 6 more minutes of you guys. I'm gonna round this one off to 2 hours. Someone's asking for interviews with the reggae girls. I could line up some interviews for you all. I can try. That doesn't mean I'm going to get them for you, but I can try most certainly to get that for you.
Is it the same thing for the reggae girls? I realized most of the reggae boys.
Yeah, I mean,
what about the reggae girls press conference? Will it be the same blackout thing?
Well, I said, Mr. Beckford, on my last couple of live streams that I don't understand why we didn't even have a press conference for the reggae girls, and I actually messaged our press officer. And I actually called him, and I feel bad for calling him because I probably woke him up. And I was like, "Where's the link for the press conference?" And the person who gave him the link gave him a link for the South Korean press conference, which already took place, which was already uploaded to YouTube. So the link that was supposed to be a Zoom link that would enable us to go into the press conference was a YouTube link. So it wasn't a Zoom link, guys. It was a YouTube link that we were presented with for the Reggae Girls press conference for their friendly against South Korea. So from there, I just kind of thought this is a little bit odd. Don't really know what's going on here, but it lacks professionalism and it doesn't make sense because there's no point inviting us to a press conference and then giving us a link that takes you to a YouTube video of the press conference for the South Korean manager. That's a press conference that's already uploaded to YouTube. So even if we wanted to ask a question to the South Korea manager, we couldn't because it's already been concluded. So yeah, I noticed 1 or 2 things that don't really add up, don't really make sense. And Georgia Girl says, Ryan, don't change for anyone. Can't disagree, but people have to understand football is a game of opinions. We're not always going to agree with each other. We all have a different voice, we all have a different tone. We're not always going to agree with each other. So to not like a person because they share a different opinion to you, it doesn't make sense. You can say you don't like them because of how they deliver their content, because of how they speak to you or speak about you, whether it's positive or negative, but you can't say you don't like somebody because they have a different opinion to you. So I got about 3 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to close off on my live stream. Any final comment there, Mr. Beckford?
I hope things change and things can go back to normal or even improve, because what they are doing, it's a concern because we are being blacked out as well. If the YouTubers are being blacked out, which is our only source to get certain information, then that means that our the fans won't be up to date with what is happening then, because JFF is not posting anything for us to follow. And we have to depend on all the YouTubers to give us vital information. Even the team, when we have matches, the team selection and so on, we are not getting those things from JFF.
The
So
breakdown,
what when
yeah.
they do this now, we should wait on the social the other media press press media so to get certain information.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's all about. And sometimes you might be in a press conference and you might think that a particular story is a stronger angle, and somebody else might say, no, actually, there's a stronger angle than the take that you've gone with. So to lean on only one set of media and exclude the other, whether you're only relying on vloggers and YouTubers and shutting the door on mainstream media or vice versa, it doesn't really make sense, because you're going to miss out on all angles being covered, because people read stories in different way.
Well, I hope someone come to their senses and make the necessary changes. And thanks, sir, again for another wonderful content.
I'm glad you
I'm
guys
still
enjoyed
not
it.
getting the notification, so I have to catch this via late. I have to come on. So
No problem. Over 100
I even change the phone and it's the same thing. I'm not getting the notification, so I don't know
I'm
what's
not sure why it keeps on happening, but hopefully we'll manage to sort something out so that you could know when I'm going live. I'll have to look at something else that could be done. So yeah, we'll see if we can come to another solution. So what's your final comments there?
another
Anything
thing.
else to say?
This number that I use, I will stop use it soon. So the other number, I texted the other number, but
Okay.
from my phone it's not being saved, so I don't know what the problem is. So
Or you could WhatsApp it to me and I should be able to save it, so I could get rid of this current number and then resave your new number.
I already have WhatsApp. You can check
Nothing has come through, so try WhatsApping me again and then I will save it over this number.
Okay, I'm sending it again.
Okay then. Right. I know you're at work, so enjoy work. Enjoy the weekend, although you're working. It's a Saturday, it's a Sunday for me. Almost 2:30 a.m. here in London. So I hope you have a Sunday. I hope you're not working on a Sunday. So I hope you enjoy your Sunday and enjoy your Sunday dinner and eat for both of us when it comes.
Well, I'm working. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy it too. I will be working until Monday. I don't have any day off for now. I just come back to work, so I can't really take day off.
Okay then. Well, enjoy work. I hope work goes well for you and get home safe as well, okay?
Well, I will try to enjoy it, but being interrupted by some news rats.
All right, Mr. Beckford, I'll speak to you on another live stream.
Okay. The number is sent again. Check and see before I.
Still hasn't come through.
Okay, probably. Well, it's showing 2 ticks, so I don't know what.
You sure you sent it to this number?
Yes.
Well, I will probably restart the phone and then I'll see if it comes through then, but I'll do that once I close off on the show.
Okay, thanks, and have a great weekend as well.
I'll try.
I already cooked my rice and peas, so I have no rice and peas for Sunday.
You're one step ahead of me. I'm gonna have to take care of that in some hours' time.
Okay, enjoy and
thank you.
Get you another life. Okay, lucky if I will because of YouTube. I don't know.
All right,
I'll probably miss.
What I'll do is Gunner's boss here says press the bell twice. So maybe you could try pressing the bell twice and hopefully that should solve the issue.
Press the bell twice. Okay.
All right then, Mr. Beckford. Good night.
Okay, enjoy yourself.
Take care.
Good night.
All right, guys. We've come to an end of the live stream. You know, I always say to myself, these live stream gonna be like maybe 30 minutes, never ever 30 minutes with you guys. Ravi, it's been a while. How are you, sir? Good morning. Devin Porter, I saw a comment from Devin Porter. If you're still around, Mr. Porter, good evening to yourself or good night to yourself. Guys, in the comment section, if you are new to the channel, kind of go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Seeing one or two new faces about. Pleasure to have you out here. Shout out to all of my friends and family in New Cross, London. Hey, big up New Cross. You too, Chrissy. One love. I am out. Good night, Gunners. Good luck with your team tomorrow, all right? Hope we put all the points in the bag. All is well, my end. How's everything with you? Blessings, the Jamaican reggae voice coach. Yes, big up the new gaffer. All right, guys, I'm about to close off. New Cross Gate. Big game, Arsenal, big game Sunday. Who are Arsenal even playing? I don't even know who they're playing, but good luck to them. All right, guys, before I forget my manners, massive thank you to you guys there in the comments section. Thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. Definitely can't do this live stream without you guys. You guys give me strength each and every time. Love your chat with the coach. It was fantastic, Crystal. Much love, guys. Massive big up to yourself. Thank you for interacting with the comment section. Right, guys, if I don't see you tomorrow, have a happy Sunday when it comes. Eat for both of us. Always remember to eat for both of us. If you're out and about at work doing the graveyard shift, I hope that you have a good shift. And I also hope and pray that you make it home safe and sound. And you know how it goes. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button. The more likes you add to the video, you help to widen the exposure of this particular video, this current video right here. All right. I think it was a good and fair conversation with objectivity there all around. Some of you probably won't agree. Some of you would agree and so on. Taking one last look at the comment section, chat and laugh every Monday, Wednesday, and tonight on Instagram. All right. Okay, I'm about to love you and leave you guys. Thank you for blessing me with a moment of your time. Before you leave, kindly go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.